Namaste students. Kushro I, JVN Dr. Y. Chandrakala, Assistant Professor Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the fungi. Okay, the fungus or a fungi is any member of the group of eukaryotic organisms that include microorganisms such as yeast and mold, as well as more family mushrooms. These organisms are classified as a kingdom which are separate from the other eukaryotic like kingdoms of the plant and animals. Okay. More than 80,000 species are there and which have been identified and around 1.5 million species are there according to Hopworth in 2001. These would render fungi one of the least explored biodiversity or resource of our planet. Okay, so being interested in the way the fungi function in nature and in the laboratory may be a bit different. Okay, so the characteristic you can see when we talk about the nutrition, they are heterotrophic, lacking the photosynthetic or like feed by absorbing the rather than absorption rather than by ingestion. Okay, so they feed on by absorption. Okay, so the vegetative states or in the substratum typically as a non-motile mycelium of the hypha showing internal protoplasmic streaming. Motile reproductive states may occur. So here the vegetative state, you can see the substratum typically are non-motile. They cannot move from one place to another place, and the myceliums of the hypha showing the internal protoplasmic streaming. So it streams and moves around uh, the substrate, and the motile reproductive state may occur. So here reproductive state may be a motile, but vegetative state is non-motile, and the mycelium moves by the hypha showing the internal protoplasmic streaming. Okay. Cell wall is typically present and usually based on the glucon and chitin, rarely on the glucon and cellulose. Okay, so the nuclear status you can see the eukaryotic or the uni or multinucleate or thus being homo or heterokaryotic haploid, so dikaryotic or diploid, the later usually of showing a short duration. Okay, so the life cycle here is simple, more usually complex. Okay, so reproduction, they follow a reproductive event and may occur sexual, and the nuclear fission and the meiosis occurs. Parasexual or nuclear fission followed by the gradual depolarization, depolarization and or a sexual or purely mitotic nuclear division. Okay. So here the following the reproductive structure may occur as a sexual. That means a nuclear fission and a meiosis take place. Okay. And a parasexual, which means involving nuclear fission followed by gradual depolarization. Okay. And asexual, purely mitotic and nuclear division. Okay. So the propagules there here you can see these are typically the microscopically small spores and produce in a high number, and the motile spores are confined in certain groups. Okay. And when we talk about the sporocarpic, the microscopic or the macroscopic and showing the characteristic shape, but only limited tissue differentiation take place. Okay. So here you can see there the sporocarps are microsporic or macrosporic. Macrosporic means smaller in small micro in size, and macro in a bit larger in size. Okay, and showing a characteristic shapes, but only limited tissue differentiation take place within the sporocarp state. Habitat, they are universe amphibians and in terrestrial and freshwater habitat. Okay, so less or so the marine or maybe in a marine environment also they can grow very easily. Ecological conditions which are very important plays important role for saprophytic uh, or a parasitic condition or a hyperparasitic condition. And as a distribution, fungi are cosmopolitan in nature. Okay, so nutrition, they are heterotrophic. Vegetative state, they forms on the non-motile mycelium, and hyper showing the internal protoplasmic streaming, motile reproductive states, and which may be occurring. Okay, here. Thank you. This session is powered by 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. If you have any doubt, we'll resolve in the problem solving session. Thank you.